Now, if you're interested in learning this, follow along. I'm going to break this up into small steps so that you can systematically get to a point where you can play it at full speed. To that, we're going to add a fifth on top. Now let's change the fingering to 1-4, 2-5, 2-5, and 2-5. To that, we're just going to add one more note to the third and fourth beats. Here, a tenth above, and same for the fourth one. Get used to rolling the third chord. You can also do it with the fourth, but it's really crucial for the third one. Now we have our left hand, let's review. We can now move on to the right hand, and first we're going to concentrate on the pinky, the fifth finger only, playing the following line. And there's an exception here at the end. I'm using my third finger. Now to those pitches, we're just going to concentrate on the first three with the following rhythm. And we're going to add two notes with our thumb. F sharp and E. Now to the notes that we are using our thumb with, so F sharp and E, we're going to stack two more notes on top. Now let's break those block chords apart. Maybe at this point, bring in the left hand. See how it feels. And let's actually fill that in with another note at the end. Repeating that E an octave above with the thumb again. Maybe try this slightly faster. Now to this, we're just going to add two more notes. One here, this A sharp, and then this F sharp at the top. Try it with the left hand. Now at this point, I would suggest memorizing this whole measure with both hands. Now in the next two parts, I'm going to hone in on what I believe is one of the most tricky parts of this whole phrase. So the first part is these three notes. So we ended here with the E and F sharp. We're going to dip down with our fourth finger and play the D sharp. And try to make that as smooth as possible. And also lift your wrist like so. But really find what feels the best so that you're able to play this with relative ease. From here, we're actually going to backtrack a little bit and focus on the notes leading up to these three pitches. So this whole run here. And you have to get used to this stretch. So for this, I would suggest repeating these block chords. Now break those notes apart. Notice that this G sharp here doesn't exist in the actual phrase, but we're playing it anyway, just so that we get used to this positioning. Now switch it over to play this turnaround, I guess. And now let's move on to the second measure. We're going to start off on an octave from D sharp with fingers 1 and 4. This fingering is crucial. And then an octave with B, but with an E in the middle. Now to this, we're going to just add one more note in between, which is the A sharp, using our fourth finger. So this might feel a little awkward because you're repeating that fourth, but that's it, just the A sharp. Now break up these notes so that we're playing single notes. Let's add in that rolled chord in the left hand. And we are very, very close. Now, from those last three pitches, we're going to repeat our thumb, the same pitch, B to B. Notice that I have the pedal down as well. I didn't mention anything about it, but feel free to use it or not during all of these steps. Now to that, let's add a fourth on top. So this E with our second finger. Now let's add one more note, the F sharp with our third finger. You see, it needs work. So now we're actually going to revisit the transition point from measure 1 to 2. Let's start from that bottommost note, the E here, and connect those two measures. Let's use our left hand as well. And I would build up in tempo. Add in that F sharp. Now let's take care of that end. For that, focus on those top notes, F sharp, G sharp, C sharp. 3, 4, 5. And if you've made it this far, this should be relatively easy. Now let's review. In terms of pedal, I'm just changing after each chord. So 4 times. Make sure you don't go on to the next one before you master each one. So really take a systematic approach, even though you feel like you can just have a go at it from the get-go. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.